been a proponent. When people talk to me about asking about the speed limiters, I get very wound up after a while. And I tell people it has nothing to do with speed. It has nothing to do with safety. It has nothing to do with the environment. If the government and the people that propose this speed limiter thing, if they're so concerned about safety, they ought to maybe read the reports from Transport Canada and other reports that are out there that clearly indicate that speed limiters are not safe. The safest thing, as Scott just said, is when all the vehicles go approximately the same speed. These highways were designed to do that. Whatever the speed is, the optimal safety rating is when all the vehicles go about the same speed. What this law has done has created a split speed between vehicles. It's unsafe. As a driver, I can't begin to tell you how many times when you drive real slow, you get the old bird at you. The truck driver is the problem. Speed limiters are not safe. It seems like our government isn't listening to that. If the OTA and the government is so concerned about safety, perhaps what they need to propose is more enforcement of the current speed limiter. We already have speed limiters in Ontario. They're called speed limit signs. Enforce it. Reduce the allowable range, whatever you want to call it, above the 100. Slow the vehicles down, but slow everybody down. If in fact enforcement is increased, you'll slow everybody down. You will then get the environmental benefits, because then everybody will slow down, not just a select group. Studies have even shown, as a matter of fact, that this will be counter to environment, because now you're going to have more passing and more maneuvering and more interaction between different speeds between vehicles. And there's a study done, I believe it's out of Manitoba, that says that he argues that it's even going to be worse for the environment. If you want to talk about safety, that's anti-safety, it's anti-environment. My feeling is, and I've said that vehemently right from the get-go, if you look at the original proposal that the Ontario Trucking Association put to the government, they said in there that it's right in there. It says level the playing field. Where I come from, level the playing field is not spelled S-A-F-E-T-Y. It's spelled C-O-M-P-E-T-I-T-I-O-N. Competition. They literally, my feeling is, they want to cripple the competition. If you ask the OTA members that, they don't have a problem with that. If you tell the OTA members that are proponents of the speed limiter, well, the Americans won't come up here. They don't have a problem with that either. As a matter of fact, I think it's been quoted in one of the magazines, I read it, that they don't have any problem with the Americans not coming up here snooping around our freight. Well, as much as Canadians talk about, they accuse some of the Americans sometimes of protectionism. Well, isn't that what this is? When you have a controlled entry and when you have restrictions in Ontario that you know full well that you can't comply with, that's, to me, it's a form of protectionism, whatever you want to call it. And the other thing that I've said too, speed limiters are not just within Ontario. Thousands of trucks from Ontario go into the States every week. They're literally, for lack of a better word, they're crippled when they drive in these other states. You go in some of these western states where the speed limit is 75, and here comes these Ontario trucks. It creates a real hazard in those states. But not only that, what about some outfit out of Arizona? He brings 3 loads a year to Toronto Fruit Market, for example. You think he's going to put a speed limit on his truck for them 3 trips? I don't think so. He's going to be a sitting duck when he comes into Ontario scales, because he doesn't have a speed limiters. It's all about the money, folks. And it's just not right. That's the way I feel about it. It's not safe. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. It's not safety. It's not speed. And it's not the environment. Speeding trucks, if you look at the facts, speeding trucks was never an issue to start with. Speeding vehicles is the issue. They need to enforce the laws. There's already signs out there. Enforce the law. Don't pick on the ones that weren't the problem. I realize there are some trucks that drive fast, and there's trucks that drive too fast. Enforcement will solve that problem. That's the way I feel. Thank you for the opportunity, Scott. Appreciate it.